Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Demi's vlog, and we started the week off with a closed grip bench press, which he got a PR on, and then of course we went on to do supplemental work with pause benching, we did rowing, and then we did a lot of tricep work. I have him do usually 2 tricep exercises every one of these sessions, mainly because they're holding him back. In fact, he and I had a little short chat today. He was reading some stuff about weight classes, his height. He's like, there's a lot of stuff telling me I need to be a lot heavier than I am. I'm like, yeah, you do, but we need to take our time with it. And the thing is, he is well over 6 foot tall. This is a tall guy. He is a strength athlete. Now, granted, he's a rookie strength athlete, but he is committed to doing so. He has been consistently putting in the work for a while. So, he is on his way, right? He's on his way. But over time, it's true. We're going to have to fill him out. And realistically, look at his overall frame. Look at the size of his bone structure. And then look at where things like his arms, his shoulders, legs, all that stuff is. Right? He has a lot of room to grow. That's going to be a lot of muscle weight down the road. So yes, he's going to need to go up. Definitely go up some weight classes. This is what we're going to have to do to get him where he needs to get. So again, a lot of hypertrophy work. We're hitting weak points. And people will say, well, shouldn't you train everything? But we are training everything. In other words, if we know where our weakest links are and we put some extra work there, then we'll continue to grow off of our big exercises. Okay? Well, what do we mean? Well, for upper body, it's your benching. All your rowing, this is the stuff that puts most of your size on. If you have weak links in there, and we work on those, and in this case, triceps. Triceps are probably the weakest muscle in his upper body. Relative to everything else. And we come in and do a bunch of direct tricep work, smaller exercises, build it up so that we can continue to progress on the bigger stuff. If I have someone who's got a delt issue or whatever, that's what we work on, right? That's what we work on. But, in his case, a lot of it's just basic conjugate stuff. I've got him doing a lot of rowing now because I wasn't happy with his chins and things, so we're doing a lot of rows. In fact, I've got him rowing all 4 days. Okay, again, we come back over, we want to build that whole upper back, biceps areas, grip, all these things. Rows are great. Now, we might eventually have to add some extra bicep work, depending upon the lifter. Okay? Depending on the lifter, what they have going. I think he's at a point right now, we can just do lots of rowing, and a lot of that will be okay. All right, a lower body, same thing. We don't use, for most of my lifters, I don't use the squat and deadlift as primary hypertrophy tools. I do sometimes. Not the majority of them. And I think particularly, in the case of someone like this, look at his leg lengths. Using a back squat to build his legs is not appropriate. Okay, look at his femur lengths, look at his levers. Right? So what do we do for that? We can do machine work, single leg exercises. Okay? And that's more or less what we do. He's got a belt squat coming, by the way. He's going to start using at home. But we use good mornings a lot. Again, we want to build his whole posterior chain up. He's strong at good mornings. Right? He's got a lot of weight on the bar there. He's strong with them. We can use that. So then what am I using as primaries? Well, for his overall size, we're doing a lot of leg pressing. We're doing these. If he was built different, I might not even need the leg pressing. I've had lifters who we get to pretty big squats who we don't worry about their quads and things at all. Outside of just their box work, their speed boxes and things. Again, very dependent upon the lifter. Got to look at structure, look at weak links, but he needs those things to come up. Okay? These them come up. And it's not to say even the dynamic work doesn't help with hypertrophy. It does. I've seen that firsthand. This is a topic I've had people bring up. Like, well, people debate it. I'm like, really? But if they compared it to plyometrics and things and look at the hypertrophy on that, they wouldn't be debating it. And I'm not saying dynamic work is the ultimate hypertrophy work, because it's not. Does it stimulate reasonable hypertrophy? Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen it in drug-free lifters. I've observed it, you know, example. I've taken lifters and gotten them to a 500 squat. We don't do any leg pressing. We don't do any quad work. We do speed boxes, speed pulls. They get enough quad to squat 500 pounds. Spent more time on their posterior chain because they weren't weakest links, but their quads got bigger. Right? These same lifters still had nice big thighs without us spending any time worrying about it. So the speed work was really their only stimulus, unless you want to count good mornings and things, which, you know, questionable. Their legs got bigger. Okay. So his case, what else do we do? Did a conventional deadlift this week. You see a lot of his other supplemental work here. Again, we use good mornings. We're using leg presses. We do rows, and I've got him doing a lot of rowing. I've got him pretty much near the limits of the amount of rowing I would probably give most lifters. I've got him rowing all 4 days. I'll rotate some of it eventually to avoid some overuse. Okay. We're definitely doing a lot of rowing because his upper body needs to get caught up to his lower. His lower body is stronger than his upper. What do I mean? He's not benching much past 2 plates aside. He's squatting 4 plates, pulling 5.5 plates pretty much at this point. Okay. So we need to thicken all that up. So it's going to get a little more priority. Here you see him doing normal skull crushers, you know, an extension to the face or extension to the forehead. Had him finish up with band work afterwards. This was done on his dynamic effort bench day. You know, then I finish up with his speed lower. A lot of the same stuff. Speed box squats with his safety bar. Speed pulls. Rows. You know, other leg exercises. He did a lot of those at the gym later. And keep him moving forward. Got to keep thickening him up. He's got to keep getting heavier. We have to get more muscle on him. That's going to be the key. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.